Hi, I'm Jane Manzuras, host of Creative Living, where we help you live your most creative life. Now, many of us help others during the holidays, but the need is all year around. So today we'll show you great ways to give back. But first, here's what's coming up on the show. We'll check out a group of women who are using their creativity and crafty spirit to lend a helping hand. I'll show you how to give life to old clothes. And we'll meet a family who's opening their home to children in need. This and so much more on this episode. We're at St. Mary's Food Bank, a place that could use your help right now and all year around. I am with the Director of Public Relations, Jerry Brown. Now, Jerry, St. Mary's is one of the largest food banks in the United States. Tell us what you do.
What we do is feed as many people as we can in the state of Arizona, and it really equates to about 250,000 meals a day. And while we are one of the largest food banks in the world, we're also the world's first food bank. And we're celebrating our 50th anniversary this year in Phoenix.
A lot of people in January are feeling that giving fatigue. Mm-hmm. They've been giving all through the holiday season. And so what is it like right now at the food bank?
Well, we just come through the holiday season, and 40% of all of the food and all of the funds that we receive during the year come in the months of November and December, so it's a really hard push. We take a lot of that food and a lot of those funds that we receive and we try to spread that out over the year. But definitely in January we do see a big drop off when it comes to donations, when it comes to volunteers out in the food bank helping people. We have a big drop off during that time.
Talk about the people that you see, the people that you're feeding, because we may not actually recognize families that are in need. Right. So who is your client?
You know, it could be anything. People normally equate food banks with homelessness, but half the people who come to the food bank, at least one person in that family has a job. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't have enough to cover everything. It doesn't cover the house and the car and feed everyone in the family. So what we do is provide emergency food, give them that bridge for the last week of a month, and let them carry over and have enough food. And maybe they can use some of the money that they would normally spend on food to make sure they stay in their house, to make sure they keep their car so they can go to their job, to take care of the things that are most important to the family.
If a child is not getting some food with nutrients in it, they're at risk, and they're at risk for a lot of different problems.
Absolutely. Not only from a health standpoint, but teachers tell us that if kids don't get those 3 meals a day, if they're not fed that breakfast in the morning, if they're not eating at night, they don't concentrate well in school. They don't do as well in school as they could. So just the mere fact of food makes a big difference in all facets of their lives.
You say as little as $1 can really go a long way.
Right. Every dollar we receive at the food bank, we can provide 7 meals into the community. That breaks down to 14 cents a meal. And if you drop a can into a food box, or if you're able to give us a few hours of your time, you can really make a huge difference at a place like a food bank, as opposed to maybe another charity that really needs a little bit more to get it done. We can do a lot with a little here.
Food banks are all over the country. Talk about the important role that they have servicing our great states.
Right. It's a stopgap. It's a place where folks can go that isn't involved maybe with the government. It's not involved with, it's a place where you can go and you say, hey, I need help for a little bit of time. And it's so important too, because people come to the food bank that were donors and they need a little help during the time that they have problems. And then at the same time, they come back later and say, you know what, you helped me for a couple of months. Here's some food, here's a check. I want to make sure that you guys are here for the next family.
That's great, and they want to give back as well. Jerry, thank you so much. Getting involved with your food bank is a great way for the entire family to give back all year long. It's easy to volunteer in your area. Head to the website volunteermatch.org. Enter in your zip code and what organizations you're looking to help, and they'll provide you with a list of places. There are more than 400,000 children in foster care in the United States, and foster parents are desperately needed. We visit with one family who's opened their home and their hearts.
We've been fostering children for a little over 10 years, and we think we've had close to 7 cycle through our house.
Usually the transitions back are really positive, and in a couple cases we've actually advocated for the children to return home because we felt the parents were ready, or maybe the child shouldn't have even been in care that long to begin with. So most of the transitions back have been pretty good. A foster family, it's the same as our family. So when we have a new placement, we feel that that child should be incorporated into everything that we do.
I'd worked in group homes out of college. We started out with infant receiving, which is a special need that we found out about where children were being born and not being able to be placed with their parents. And so they needed a place to get care until their parents were able to get custody back. You know, you do your best with the constraints you have within the group home system. We always wondered, you know, God, this is not good. These kids are going to get cut off at 18. And at 18, you're out on the street, good luck, and the group homes aren't really providing you the skills that you need. So when you're 18, you can get a job or go to college and become productive.
I think seeing how they were being raised for us was a big moment, and we knew that that's something we wanted to do one day. It has to be something that the whole family believes in, and our family, our kids, I mean, when we have a child go home, it's like the next day. Mom, when are we going to get another?
Next place?
When are we going to get another one? They can't wait.
I know they grew up with it too. So when our kids were, the twins were 2.5, and then we were pregnant with Marie. You know, so it's been, and we've been doing it since then. So it's just, they've grown up with it. It's a part of their life. They understand how to share everything.
It's a beautiful thing to watch, you know, a new child come into the home and see, you know, a little girl scrambling to go get her favorite art set and lay it out to share and bring the child over and say, let's color together. Here, use my art set, here's my stuff. So I think that the things our children have learned, like David said, have been amazing.
John's with us and the first year goes by and still mom and dad are working on it. Year and a half, mom and dad still working on it, not able to get everything accomplished. Then 2.5 years later, they finally sever rights with the parents. So we just adopted him on National Adoption Day. And that's his day, so he has a birthday and he has his adoption birthday. I look at it as a long sleepover. So when we get a placement, I'm going to give them the best care that I can, and I'm going to take care of them the best that I can while they're with me, knowing that the goal is reunification. That's the state's goal. You'll slowly create a bond with that kid over time.
I think there's so many people that would be perfect to be foster parents and they don't even know it. I mean, if you already have children, you know, what's one more? Throw another one in the mix. Maybe your children have left and they're off to college and you're thinking, oh, I don't have grandchildren yet. You'd be a great foster parent.
Our family is a family of 6 twins, boy, girl, Garrett and Bridget. They're both 13. Marie, who is 11. We have Rose, who's 8. And then we have my adoptive son, John. He's 6. And we have a foster placement right now, Abraham, who's also 6.
And if you can love, you can be a foster parent.
If you'd like to help out your local food bank, consider donating non-perishable food items. Soup, stews, and shelf-stable milk are always great ideas. Now, here's what's coming up. I introduce you to a painter that uses a stopwatch as a motivator, and a designer who draws from his past to design for the future. A Phoenix designer uses his childhood as inspiration to create dream homes for his clients. Let's take a look.
My name is Troy Strumpf. I'm a creative soul. I'm a risk taker. And I'm a dreamer. Growing up here in Phoenix, I grew up in maybe not the nicest neighborhood, but an interesting one nonetheless. And many times riding my bike around through the hills, what I didn't realize, all of those homes that I had been riding around and observing as a child, I come back to those areas and they're suddenly desirable. And these homes are, you know, they're elevated and they're on mountainside and they're boxy and they've got cool angles and glass, and I suppose you don't realize at the time perhaps that's leaving an impression on you, but I do drive through those neighborhoods with fondness now and think, I'm still here at home. I'm 3 miles from where I grew up as a kid, and I'm learning how to go through and leave my mark in a similar way. I do consider the type of construction that I provide to be artistic. I believe that's the primary reason that A, I'm driven to this industry, and B, that somebody would want to hire me. A lot of guys can follow a set of plans. I try to bring my approach and my creativity and read between the lines. I believe everyone in the process needs to be inspired. I find inspiration in challenging myself to create something where we can all become inspired about what we're trying to achieve. I met with a homeowner and they walked me through their space and said, you know, we want our laundry to extend here and we need extra parking. And on the one hand, I'm listening, and on the other hand, I'm really sort of developing my own feel for the space. And I'll go home that same evening and just try to get everything out. I'll start sketching, I'll open up some floor plan programs that I use and try to grab that original inspiration and put something on paper so that we can all get energized about what we're trying to achieve. The type of projects that I create are open, natural light, nice flow and form to the footprint of the home, to the pathways and the spatial relationships. I try to pay particular attention to taking architectural cues that exist already within the home and replicating those throughout so that when we finish the project, really you can't tell the difference between perhaps what was already existing and what we've created. Each project that I embark on, I try to challenge myself to create something unique, and I try to grab fresh inspiration and apply things that inspire me in my daily activities and bring something that perhaps I haven't tried before to each project.
In this craft room crash, I met an artist who donates his amazing skills to speed painting at charity events, and he puts the pop in pop culture icons. This is Craft Room Crash, and I am in Tempe, Arizona, outside DIYer Randall Haddon's house. Now, he's a speed painter and says the adrenaline rush of being under a stopwatch is what drives him. Not to mention, he really is a true artist. So let's go crash his craft room and find out what Randall is painting today.
Hey, Jane.
Hey, Randall.
Come on in.
All right, let's go. Wow. This is the craft room. This is amazing.
I'm a professional artist and speed painter. I've been at this for over 40 years. I had a big warehouse downtown. It was costing me thousands, and I wound up being able to be more productive here. I paint just about every day, anywhere from 8 to 15 hours a day. The one behind me, I put 200 hours in. We go out and we do about 100 shows a year. About 50% of those are for charity, so we raise a lot of money for charity with the speed paintings. I think we'll make something, we're going to do a speed painting today.
Speed paint, great. So I won't spend the day here because you're going to speed paint.
Right, yeah.
Yes, we're going to rock it out today.
I can't hear you talk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know, we got.
All right, I do love my Nirvana though.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get started. I'm not going to time you.
You're gonna time? No timing? Okay.
You're starting with a black canvas and then...
Right. Any part of the painting that's going to be this color gets used in one motion. So when I get this done, I never have to look at that dark flesh color ever again. That saves me time because every time I go to the paint and I pull it back up, I'm 5 to 10 seconds. If I do that 12 times,
right,
that's a minute.
Oh,
I've lost a minute.
Right. Canvas is spinning.
It's spinning around. It's on a bearing. It
Wow,
spins
come
around.
on, you're making me dizzy now.
So what I do is I start putting in the background.
Oh, yeah.
See how bright that color
Yes,
is?
I love that.
And what these people are starting to look and go, now what in the heck has he just done?
The strands of hair and like the image is starting to take shape, and it's like you don't really quite know what it is, but you're starting to like see a human
Yeah.
through just brush strokes.
So now I just start throwing little highlights here and there, and then what I do is I turn it around and kabam, you've got Kurt Cobain, and then you sign your name over here. There you go, Kurt Cobain, and we did that probably in 5 minutes.
That is amazing. Thanks so much to Randall. Now we all have a little more insight on how to paint a portrait, maybe not as fast. That is what Randall is doing in his craft room. What are you doing in your craft room? We'll see you next time. I really do want a Madonna one. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, let's talk price.
Okay. Want to help teachers with school supplies and other projects? Check out donorschoose.org. The website lists the wants of teachers in high-need communities. Pick the one that you like and donate. Next on Creative Living. A group of women who are using their crafting skills to do good things in the community. And I'll show you how you can refashion your old clothes in 30 minutes or less. There's a national movement underway called We Make for Good. Groups of crafters and makers from all over the country are using their skills to create stuffed toys, quilts, and pillows, and then donating them to people in need. I met up with a few women who are doing some serious good.
I never realized what a big program that was. And it makes me happy that there are lots of other people that make things to give for good.
Nancy, Kathy, Samantha, Carolyn, and others are able to get a portion of their supplies donated to them, so it's easier to continue to make and help others in need.
There's a hope started after I was recovering from a stem cell transplant for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. We make bears for sick children and adults to bring them smiles, hugs, comfort, and hope.
Nancy makes Raggedy Ann dolls and donates them to Toys for Tots.
When my sister passed away, she had a whole group of these Raggedy Ann Andy dolls. And I thought, why shouldn't I make them up and give them away? I love it. I love it.
Samantha makes cat beds and donates them to the local humane societies.
I was looking to donate my time back into animal shelters. I have my perfect little rescue cat that I love more than anything, and amongst the research, cat beds are the least donated items to animal shelters, and I thought it's a great way of incorporating a skill that I already have and turn it into something good.
And for Kathy McLeese, it's about giving back to others and the mission she works on with her mother who lives in Wyoming.
These kids that are having to get the chemo and they're sitting there for hours, and from what I understand, they get chilled.
Kathy makes quilts and donates them to the Phoenix Children's Hospital. So this is a finished quilt, and you have how many quilts here? These are ready for donation.
These are ready for donation. Here's another one.
Oh, that's pretty. Since 2013, they have made 182 quilts.
A blanket would be comforting, and they get to keep the blanket. They get to take that home with them.
It just makes me feel good. Anything I can do to help others, that's my mission.
Every Raggedy Ann doll, forever and ever, they have the little I love you heart.
Right.
Right where our hearts are. Because you make these with love.
That's right.
Being able to walk in there and actually be able to physically hand the cat bed to a cat that's waiting to find their forever home, it's a phenomenal feeling.
With the program We Make for Good, it all works.
The finished crafts donated to people in need with the help of the We Make for Good program are tangible reminders to the recipients that they are loved and cared about. The good work of these crafters spreads comfort, support, and love in our communities and all across the world.
It's stories like that that just make me feel like we are doing something good for others.
Have any gift cards that you don't plan on using? Well, how about donating them to a local shelter or foster care organization? And when we come back, a new year doesn't mean a new wardrobe, so I'll show you how to turn those outdated clothes into something trendy for the new year.
Not done exploring your creative side? Visit yourview.com for more videos from Arizona Living. Your home, your inspiration.
A new year doesn't mean a new wardrobe, so let's raid your closet and find some jeans that need a new life and update your denim. It's fashionable and easy, so let's get started. You'll need a pair of jeans, fancy fabric. You can use brights and textured prints and even home decor material, pins, and a sewing machine. First, measure from the hip just below the knee. Cut the jeans and be sure to save your scraps for later. We'll use these scraps to measure the fabric added to the bottom of your jeans. Fold your fancy fabric in half, lay the denim scraps on top of it, and measure the width based on the width of the knee. And the length can vary depending on how long and wide you want your new pants. Sew the length of the fancy fabric together. Turn inside out and pin right sides together at the knee. Sew around the knee. Pull the fancy fabric right side out and down and away from the denim. And there you have it, updated denim and jeans that look like they walked off the pages of a fashion magazine. I want to thank everyone at St. Mary's Food Bank for showing us all of the good work they're doing. Giving of your money and time to charity is a very selfless thing to do. So here's a few tips to keep in mind before you give. Don't donate over the phone. Don't give anyone your banking information. Ask questions about the charity, how long they've been around, how much of the donation goes to those in need. And finally, check out any charity or nonprofit on watchdog sites like CharityWatch.org. Make sure they're legitimate. Thank you so much for joining us on Creative Living. I'm your host, Jane Manzuris, and I'll see you next time.